on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. Live from Baumhower's Victory Grille in Tuscaloosa. This is Hey Coach, presented by Alfa Insurance. For auto, home, and life insurance, call Alfa. Also brought to you in part by Ford. Visit buyfordnow.com or your local Ford dealer and score a Ford SUV today. Coke Zero Sugar, and refreshingly delicious. Golden Flake, the official potato chip of the Alabama Crimson Tide. Bud Light, it's for the fans. And by Toyota. Visit your local Toyota dealer today. Toyota, let's go places. Now, live from Baumhower's Victory Grille in Tuscaloosa, this is Hey Coach.
Roll Tide and welcome to Hey Coach, presented by Alfa Insurance. For auto, home, and life insurance, call Alfa. Hello again, everybody. I'm Roger Hoover alongside our producer and engineer Tom Stipe, and we're glad you're with us tonight at Baumhower's Victory Grille in Tuscaloosa. Roll Tide, everyone. Roll Tide. It's good to be with you on this Monday night as you are listening on the radio network, also the Varsity Network app, and many of you are home watching our video streams on the CTSN social media channels. First up on the show, we'll be talking gymnastics. After a trip to Kentucky last Friday, Alabama will be home this Friday at 6:30 against the Auburn Tigers. Head coach Ashley Johnston is here to discuss what's ahead for the Auburn meet as Alabama looks to continue its recent run of success against the Tigers. Then in the second half hour of the show, we'll talk men's basketball with Alabama head coach Nate Oats. Alabama returning home tomorrow night to Coleman Coliseum to face Vanderbilt. Tip-off is set for 7:30 p.m. Central with our radio coverage on the network starting at 6:30 p.m. Later in the week, it'll be the Crimson Tide hitting the road to face LSU on Saturday in Baton Rouge. We'll talk about all of that coming up with head coach Nate Oats in our second half hour, followed by our conversation, or first by Ashley Johnston. If you'd like to join us on the show this evening, ask our coaches a question, just give us a call on the Yellowhammer Brewing hotline at 877-202-BAMA. Fans, you can keep up with everything Alabama with the Alabama Crimson Tide mobile app. It's presented by Cadence Bank. Available at the App Store and Google Play. Download the Alabama Crimson Tide mobile app now for free. You're listening to Hey Coach from Baumhower's Victory Grille, the official watch party location of the Crimson Tide. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
Producing championship quality lumber is not an easy process, but at Everwood Treatment Company, it's our only process. Wood treated right. Everwood is championship quality lumber for decks, outdoor structures, commercial jobs, and more that you can build your reputation on. No rot, no decay, no termites, no problems. Just wood treated right. To locate your local Everwood store, visit everwoodtreatment.com. Everwood Treatment, official lumber of the Alabama Crimson Tide.
In America, the future belongs to everyone. So we designed the Ford trucks of the future for everyone. Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 45 years straight. Made for performance and capability on and off-road. Because the trucks of the future aren't designed for a few. They're built for America. Ford F-Series. Drive one today. Based on 1977 to 2021 calendar year total sales.
Southern homes are particularly vulnerable to termites. In this climate, you need guaranteed protection. You need Cook's Pest Control and Centricon. Termites attack the Centricon stations, exposing themselves to an agent that eliminates their entire colony. Upgrade from old-fashioned liquid service to the proven protection of Centricon and Cook's Pest Control. Call Cook's today for a free evaluation.
Looky, 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 here comes Cookie, Cook's Pest Control.
Hello there, my name is Seychelle, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is the punch of flavors that's unlike any other. You get the crispy tenderness of the chicken and that hint of sourness from the pickles. Ta-da!
Hey, I'm Juan, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is you know you're going to get chicken that's crispy, golden, and juicy. This is the gold standard of chicken sandwiches.
Order the original Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real customers paid for their testimonials.
You can trust your car to the place with the star to get you to the things you love or travel near and far. With Texaco at your side, life can be a lovely ride. So trust your car to the Texaco star.
When you fill up with Texaco with Techron, you get unbeatable mileage to help make your adventures bigger than ever. Download the Texaco app to find a station near you.
If you're looking for the best selection in Crimson Tide apparel, look no further than the Soup Store. The Soup Store is every Bama fan's ultimate destination for the hottest gear and accessories, with 3 great locations around campus to serve you: in Tuscaloosa on campus at the Ferguson Center, on the Strip in front of Bryant-Denny Stadium, and on Bryant Drive. If you can't get to Tuscaloosa, shop the Soup Store online at soupstore.ua.edu. The Soup Store is a proud partner of Alabama Athletics.
This segment of Hey Coach is presented by Coca-Cola Zero Sugar. With zero sugar and refreshingly delicious, is Coca-Cola Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Find out for yourself. We continue on Hey Coach. This is Roger Hoover back with you at Baumhower's Victory Grille. Now, please be joined by the gymnastics coach of the University of Alabama, Ashley Johnston. Roll Tide, Coach.
Roll Tide. Happy to be here.
We've got some gymnastics fans in the building. A lot of them going to be in the building coming up this week as Alabama hosts Auburn for the Power of Pink. You got to be excited about everything that's coming up for you and your gymnastics team.
I'm so excited. You know, looking forward to Auburn matchup this weekend. It's actually, we're just about sold out. So I think we're less than 50 tickets away from selling out, which would be the first time we've done that since 2014. So got a lot to be excited about right now, and I can't wait to get out there.
Well, last time out, the Crimson Tide had a season-best score of 197-375. It was a narrow loss at Kentucky. Just what was your mindset going into the meet? What did you see from your young ladies?
Yeah, you know, going into Kentucky, we were really working on some of the details. So working on stuck landings, working on just polishing up some of those things. And so I feel like we made a lot of strides in that area, which is why we came out with a big score, but then just gave away a couple of things in the process. So we've got a really good game plan, got back to work in the gym today, and really refining those little things to hopefully pay off on Friday night.
Well, attention to detail, Kari Doggett certainly had that on the uneven bars. Perfect 10, first time the Crimson Tide having a perfect 10 in 2 years. What led to her success last Friday?
You know, we always talk about you compete your average. And so in the gym, you know, she continues to just really get rid of any type of execution, you know, deduction in her routine. And just she goes big all the time. And so I feel like that routine on Friday night was just her average, which is crazy to say that it could be perfect. But she's been doing that in the gym all week long leading up. And so we weren't really surprised that she went out there and did what she did.
Of course, you've been around gymnastics your entire life. Can you tell when somebody has just done a perfect 10 routine? Or do you have to have that moment of waiting to see what the judges are going to say?
I like to believe I know when it's a perfect 10, but we're such a subjective sport that you really just never know what's going to happen. And, you know, sometimes the judging can be a little tighter than other times. And, you know, that's one of those things that you just can't control. And so we try not to get too distracted by that. And really, we judge ourselves based on what our approach was. Did they really commit to the process? Did they do it to the best of their ability in that moment? And that's how we judge ourselves based off of. And then we just let the score take care of itself.
What was the celebration like once we did learn the score? And I imagine everyone's been talking about that ever since.
It was huge. It was so fun to see everybody just run over to Makari and bear hug her. And, you know, that was a great moment. But at the same time, you know, you looked at Louisa, who was next up in the 6th spot. And I thought that was a big moment where the team was able to invest and celebrate and sharing that celebration with Makari, but then also reinvest in who was next up to compete for us. And really loved how the team shifted that energy into the next person up as well.
And it seems like the bar is one of the most consistent events for you on Friday.
They did a great job. You know, that was our program high score. It tied a program best. And so the team really knocked it out of the park, and they're ready to carry that energy into this week as well.
So we really like seeing that this past Friday as the Crimson Tide now get ready to be home coming up this week against the Auburn Tigers. We'll be talking, of course, about the Power of Pink meet that is coming up in Tuscaloosa. And going back to one other note from this past Friday's meet, Lily Hudson, the sophomore, had such a great freshman year here at Alabama as career high in the all-around 39.575. What'd you like about her night?
Lily is such a rock. You know, she comes into the gym every day and just works her tail off and is constantly putting herself into situations where she learns how to thrive under pressure, where she steps into tough moments and just really excels. And so, again, I really feel that you oftentimes compete your average. Sometimes you get a little bit more, and sometimes you have a mistake and you get a little bit less. But she's one of those people that just steps in, just does her thing, and competes her average, and that average is pretty great.
Of course, Crimson Tide, some time at home so far this season, some time on the road like we saw at Kentucky. Is your group getting more comfortable really in any situation now that we're a few weeks deep into the season?
We are. We talk about kind of 3 different benchmarks that we continue to seek improvement in, and that's scoring potential, its consistency, and its adaptability. And this group continues to show that they're ready to take on anything that's thrown their way. And while it might not be perfect every step of the way, they're constantly learning from it, growing from it, and identifying the tools that they need to kind of put into place to make sure that they're successful the next time the opportunity comes around.
Do you continue to like the chemistry with this group and some of the senior leadership that we talked about before the season began?
Yeah, this group is great. Again, we've got this amazing balance of senior experience and this dynamic freshman group, and they balance each other out really well. They have a lot of fun. I think our road trips have helped with that. We had one trip where we got stuck an extra night, and it turned into just, you know, kind of one big hangout fest where we all learned a lot about each other, and those travel trips just leave you with the best memories that will carry on forever.
Absolutely. Well, we're glad this week that you are at home here in Tuscaloosa as the Crimson Tide will be hosting the Auburn Tigers coming up on Friday night. More details on that coming up in a moment as we continue live from Baumhower's Victory Grille, where you can celebrate Mardi Gras. You can enjoy a Cajun-style meal for a limited time from the new Mardi Gras menu. Join the Mardi Gras party at Baumhower's today. Baumhower's Victory Grille, legendary fun, legendary food. More with Coach Johnston when we return. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
Medicaid and CHIP offer free or low-cost health coverage for children and teens. Hospital and doctor visits, prescriptions, shots, and more are covered. That's peace of mind for parents if a child is sick or gets injured. And parents may now be eligible for Medicaid too, even if they've applied in the past. Enrollment is always open. Visit insurekidsnow.gov or call 1-877-KIDS-NOW. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
The United States Deputy Sheriff's Association is a national nonprofit and the largest non-governmental provider of services to law enforcement. The USDSA assists city, county, state, and federal agencies with free safety equipment donations and officer survival training, along with cash donations to families of law enforcement officers who perish in the line of duty, college scholarships for the children of law enforcement, a citizen awareness program, and more. For more information on the USDSA and how you can help, visit usdeputy.org.
You're never completely ready to adopt a teen.
For late nights writing English papers.
For your teen's music taste.
For dinners, where they talk more on their phone than with you.
For the first time, they call you Mom.
You're never completely ready to adopt a teen, and you can't imagine the reward.
To learn more about adopting a teen, visit adoptuskids.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. He sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself.
For many military veteran caregivers, their caregiving journey starts earlier in life and lasts longer. Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
To protect his home and family from disaster, Steve used courage, wisdom, and his camera phone.
That should do it.
Way to go, Steve! By simply taking digital pictures of his family's important documents, Steve can always have them stored safely online, no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Hey Coach, presented by Alfa Insurance. We're with you live at Baumhower's Victory Grille in Tuscaloosa. Roger Hoover joined once again by Gymnastics head coach Ashley Johnston. And if you'd like to join us on the show to ask Coach a question, just give us a call on the Yellowhammer Brewing hotline at 877-202-BAMA. And we will go there right now as Pee Wee will be our first one up tonight from Grand Bay, Alabama. Roll Tide, Pee Wee.
Roll Tide, Roger. Hey, Coach Johnston, how are you doing?
I'm great, thanks. How are you?
I am doing very well. You know, even though we did not win this meet, we still posted, I believe, is the highest score this season. And gymnastics is one of the sports where it's not all about win and losses. Can you kind of explain how the scoring goes to where even though you may not have won this meet, you might have even moved up just a little bit in the standings?
Yep, absolutely. So gymnastics is unique in that it is not all about the wins and losses, but it's really about getting the 6 best scores. And then when we get to the end of the season, you're seeded according to those score rankings. And so the higher seeded you are, obviously the better potential you have to qualifying to the regional tournament and then the NCAA tournament. And so all of that is determined based on that scoring potential and not necessarily the wins and losses. So we could beat multiple teams throughout the season, but we could still be ranked lower than them if we don't score at the highest level that we can. So it's a little bit backwards in that. Obviously, we always love to have a win, but at the same time, we try to stay invested in the process, that it's really all about building that scoring potential to be seeded in the best way we can for postseason.
Thank you for the call, Pee Wee. And, of course, with some of the scores, we're seeing some great numbers posted by a lot of your freshmen so far. Do you continue to be impressed by their progress week to week?
I do, yeah. The freshmen have been great, and we continue to get more of them that are making appearances in the lineup. I mean, Gabby Gladio has been a staple so far, competing 3 events on every meet so far. She's also warmed up bars and at any given point could be going into the all-around, just depending on what the rest of our lineups look like. Rachel Rybicki got in there on beam last week, had a great debut, stepped into a tough situation. It's always hard to follow a fall, and let alone it being your first collegiate meet ever. On the road in a tough environment, and she responded really well. She's got a really calm, kind of confident composure about her, and so I think everybody really trusted her to step into that moment and deliver, which she did. And, you know, Lillian Lewis got in there and competed, and Lauren Little has been in there as well. So far we've got 4 out of our six freshmen that have made their debuts, and I expect the other 2 to be ready at some point as well.
Well, hope ready this week because, we're very excited for the Power of Pink to return. Started by, of course, your college coach, Sarah Patterson, during the 2005 season. Power of Pink Breast Cancer Awareness Initiative now in its 19th season. You got to, of course, wear the pink leotard years ago. What does it mean to you now to coach in this event?
You know, looking back, I just remember being in Coleman Coliseum and seeing all those pink shakers around, and I can remember people used to call Sarah the Pink Lady. And while she was a national championship coach, at the same time, she was this pink lady who would go around and pass out stickers and show up at DCH Hospital and spend time with patients, and was just such an advocate for empowering all of these women who were going through a difficult time, and anybody who was going through a difficult time. And so it means a lot to me to be in this position now where I can really take the lead in helping our athletes develop this same passion and this skill set for making a difference in their communities.
It's got to be exciting as well, just the week leading up to the meet on Friday night. You see Coleman Coliseum all around start to turn pink, the pink lights, and I imagine for your student athletes, they get really excited as well.
They do. I mean, already going into this week, they are themed out. They are wearing pink. They are ready. You know, it really becomes an exciting event. And there's just nothing like standing out there in the parking lot and looking at the pink lights on Coleman Coliseum. I think that's just the most spectacular sight, and I can't wait to go out there and see it.
And also, prior to the meet, Alabama will introduce a group of breast cancer survivors on the floor of Coleman Coliseum. That's a tradition that's now 13 years old, and really of all the moments all throughout the season, that's one of the most impactful.
It really is. It's one of the most meaningful moments to be able to stand there and walk out onto that Alabama A and be introduced and to have a survivor introduced with you. You know, it just puts things in perspective that while you might be nervous and you might be competing in a tough environment and there's a lot on the line, in reality, there's just so much more to life. And when you stand there and you're with that survivor, I think it helps you see clearly that this sport is an opportunity, it's a privilege, and you know, there's just so much more beyond that, and it's amazing to have that opportunity to invest back into somebody that's standing right next to you.
We can't wait to see a sold-out Coleman Coliseum cheer them on prior to the meet, and of course it is Alabama, it's Auburn. It is the greatest rivalry really in college sports, and a rivalry you've been on both sides of. Competed for Alabama, obviously was an assistant coach prior to this season at Auburn. What was it like, first of all, from the Auburn perspective, going up against the Crimson Tide the few times you did?
That was always tough, you know, when I was coaching for Auburn and especially coming into Coleman Coliseum. Sure. That was always really challenging because I would walk into the facility and my picture was on the wall. And so our team, you know, always kind of did a double take because it was like, wait a minute, what's happening? And I think they would feel betrayed at times. And so it was always kind of fun when I was coaching there when we would walk in here. But really, it's a great matchup. It's a great rivalry. You know, both teams always bring their A game. There's a lot on the line. But you know, at the end of the day, it really is about just taking small steps along the journey and for us to make progress, to continue to fine-tune those details, to do the best we can to get a maximum scoring potential that we can. We've got to stay focused on those things. The other stuff is a lot of fun and games, but it's not really what matters in the end.
And, of course, you get to see a lot of gymnasts that you coached a season ago, including Suni Lee, who will be coming here to Tuscaloosa.
Yep, it'll be great to see some of those girls. You know, what I tell our team is that nobody is immune to walking into Coleman Coliseum and being nervous. You know, nobody is immune to that. I don't care if you are a superstar or if it's your first time competing. You know, our fans, our support system, there is just nothing like it. And so I'm hoping that our fans here, I can see Crimson Chaos here tonight, a few other great folks in the community. I know that y'all are going to bring it and make this the toughest home environment that anybody's walked into for that opposing team. So I'm pretty excited to see what you guys bring.
Well, we're excited you're back in Crimson for this rivalry. Alabama against Auburn coming up on Friday. We'll talk more about that with Coach Johnston in a moment. Do want to tell you about the Everwood Performance of the Week. It goes to Alabama softball's Montana Fouts and Faith Hensley, who made the USA Softball Player of the Year watch list last week. This is Montana's fourth appearance on this prestigious watch list and Faith's first time on the USA Softball Player of the Year watch list. That is your Everwood Performance of the Week, brought to you by Everwood, wood treated right. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
By now, your daily routine is probably a little too routine. Don't you want to change? Don't you want to start playing by your own
Hey Crimson Tide fans, as our state moves to the next chapter, the Alabama Department of Public Health is shifting strategies from emergency response to one that minimizes daily disruption to our lives. COVID-19 vaccines and boosters are widely available to anyone 6 months of age and older should you decide that you need one. Together, we can help to protect each other moving forward. For more information on COVID vaccines and virus prevention, visit alabamapublichealth.gov/COVID-19.
When time matters most, you go with what's tried and true. That's tried and true John Deere equipment and Tri-Green service. Tough chores don't stand a chance with a John Deere 4044M tractor, and right now you can get one with 0% financing. With a 43 horsepower engine, power reverser transmission, and a 10-year powertrain warranty, this John Deere helps you work with confidence day after day. So stop by one of our 29 Alabama and Tennessee locations or visit us online at TriGreenEquipment.com.
Offer ends January 31, 2023, 0% APR for 60 months, subject to approved credit with John Deere Financial.
That to-do list you have needs one more thing. Chill. It's an easy thing to do. Just crack open an ice-cold Coors Light and chill. Take the afternoon off and binge watch anything. Go to happy hour and stay for a couple hours. Who's counting anyways?
Or hang out with just your dog because you've had enough human interaction this week. Whatever you do it with a Coors Light. Mountain Cold Refreshment made to chill. 2020 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
CB&S Bank has a long history of stability and a legacy of serving our community's needs for generations. You could say we know a thing or two about tradition. We've been family, community, and financially strong since we began in 1906. Being a team player is part of our culture. That's why at CB&S Bank, we're proud to sponsor the University of Alabama Athletics and prouder to take the field or court with you. Visit cbsbank.com today. Member FDIC and Equal Housing Lender.
Hi, I'm Tracy, an employee at BASF in Alabama. As an engineer, I enjoy working on projects that challenge me. It's rewarding to work for a winning team who values safety and its customers. At BASF, we create chemistry around the world through our people and our products. To join a winning team and a great place to work, visit basf.us/Alabama. That's basf.us/Alabama. BASF, we create chemistry.
This segment of Hey Coach is presented by Homewood Suites by Hilton in downtown Tuscaloosa. Make yourself at home and stay in comfort and enjoy the great options of the on-site 205 bar and restaurant. Homewood Suites by Hilton in Tuscaloosa, proud preferred hotel partner of the Crimson Tide. We're continuing our conversation with Gymnastics head coach Ashley Johnston as we gear up for what's coming up on Friday. Alabama against Auburn in the Power of Pink meet. And again, tickets are extremely limited. We're looking forward to seeing a lot of people in the building and even more students. Even special seating is coming up for Crimson Chaos.
Yeah, that's right. We're actually expanding our student seating. And so we were at capacity versus Florida. And so we hear you. That's why we opened up additional seating. So there's going to be some extra seats there. So we're really hoping to fill the place up. And, we're expecting a sellout. And if for some reason people aren't able to be there on Friday night, I hope that you'll go on RollTide.com, transfer those tickets so that we make sure that the bowl is filled. Let's pack that place out so that we create a great atmosphere.
Of course, you want the fans cheering on the Crimson Tide, but how can they help out after one of your gymnasts sticks a great landing?
That's a great point. So, we're always looking for those stuck landing. And so when one of our gymnasts sticks, this is what we do in the gym. Everybody yells, "She said what?" And then the whole team follows up and says, "She said stick." And so that's something that we've practiced with our Crimson Chaos group and a few other groups on campus, that as soon as one of our gymnasts sticks, they're going to yell that out and start the process. And then we want to hear the entire Coliseum yell out, "She said stick." And I think that'll just be really awesome. I can just imagine the other team kind of turning their heads like, "Oh man, they stuck again." And that's really our goal, is to just create that hype, that energy in the building that's contagious.
Well, that's really going to be outstanding to see as the Crimson Tide take on the Auburn Tigers. That's coming up for the Crimson Tide coming up this Friday night, as the Crimson Tide again will be home against Auburn, and then some other home meets are still on the schedule. I know everyone's as well looking forward to what's coming up in a few weeks against LSU.
Yeah, February 24th, we compete against LSU, and they're always a great team. Our schedule is really stocked. We've got great competition coming into the Coliseum. We are going to great matchups as well, and that strength of schedule just really prepares us for postseason so that we can be on our game in those most important moments in the end.
And that'll be alumni night as well. Imagine a lot of your former teammates are coming back to town.
It will. I'm so excited about it. I've actually never gotten to go to an alumni weekend because I've always been coaching a meet. And so I'm really excited to reconnect with all of the great athletes that are a part of our program's legacy, and can't wait to spend time with, Sarah and David, and just kind of share those memories, those special moments that have come through the years. And it really is a sisterhood. The Bama Gymnastics family is really special, and can't wait to get everybody back here.
Speaking of Sarah and David Patterson, how have you leaned on them once the season got going? Obviously, you're college coaches, and now you're in your first season as Alabama's head coach. How have you leaned on them throughout the year?
Yeah, Sarah and David have been an amazing support system. Being in this position as a head coach, there's very few people that have been in this position, and so to have those two right here in the community to lean on, to ask questions about, they've been just amazing support systems, whether it's offering advice or if it's taking care of my son or daughter, like they're there for me every step of the way. I know they are. They continue to encourage and support not just me, but our staff, and that really means the world to us.
Coming up on Wednesday, it is a special day around collegiate athletics, National Girls and Women's in Sports Day. What does that holiday mean to you and your gymnasts as you can celebrate on Wednesday?
That's really what it's all about. We had our Be the Change meet against Florida a couple weeks ago where we were really empowering the ladies to take advantage of their platform, to share their stories and to share their passion for how they want to be a difference maker in the world. And so that's what this Wednesday is all about. It's just continuing to help raise the awareness and help them to find their voices to make a meaningful difference in this place. And, that's what Power of Pink is about. That's what it puts things in perspective. They do this sport. They have this amazing opportunity to carry out their talents in front of 15,000 fans, but really it's an opportunity to bring hope and, help people go through tough moments in their life and to be an inspiration. And that's what they're passionate about. And so for me, it's really about carving out the space to let them just be themselves. They already have it in them. They just need the space to be able to share their story, to share what they're passionate about.
And, of course, they're passionate about great gymnastics as they keep getting ready for Friday against Auburn. Anything new we may see in some of the routines on Friday night?
There's a couple of new things, new combos. We're getting a couple of our girls kind of healthy again. They had some minor issues that kept them out the past couple of weeks. So I think you'll see a few of them really excited to be out there again, excited to end the night on floor, really bring the energy, bring the hype. I know they can't stop talking about how packed the place is going to be. I mean, they've been dreaming about this. So many of them came to Alabama because they wanted to compete in front of a sold-out Coleman Coliseum. So I expect a few of them might tear up a little bit. I think they're going to walk out there and march out and just take it in. And it's going to be a really special moment. It's going to be one of those things that stays with them for the rest of their lives.
Of all the different events, when it is a sold-out building like Coleman Coliseum will be coming up on Friday, floor exercise where the most energy is?
It's the last event, and so I think part of it is just that, the nature of our sport. It's the final event. It'll be between beam and floor. Hopefully it's a really close meet, and it's just an environment that's so fun to step into. And so I think part of it is just ending on the floor, but then, when they have the music and there's choreography and the team gets to interact and kind of do it with them, they really feel connected and they feel like one heartbeat out there. And so I think it's one of those moments where they look back in time and they remember that moment so specifically because they're just having the time of their life, dancing, there's music, there's so much toughness that goes into that moment, but there's also so much joy and celebration and excitement. And so I know they're looking forward to it, and I can't wait to watch them out there.
We were talking about music just a bit before we came on the show today. Is there a favorite music selection for any of the routines you've enjoyed this year?
It's really all their own. We work with each athlete to figure out what kind of music selection they want, where they really feel like themselves and they feel like they can perform it. And so it's very individualized. It's all about just what they're passionate about, what they felt like they could perform to, what they felt like the audience would like getting into. And so, it's been kind of fun to watch each person navigate the ins and outs of learning their routine. That's just uniquely them.
It really is. And again, we're excited for the Power of Pink coming up on Friday. Alabama against the Auburn Tigers. We mentioned students get in free. An expanded student section is coming up for the meet. Last student section at capacity against Florida. And even fans, if maybe they can't make it to Coleman Coliseum for one reason or another, head to RollTide.com, and there are some instructions on how to transfer tickets and make sure they get in the hands of an Alabama fan.
That's right. And the meet starts at 6:30, but that'll be like the first vault. So really encouraging fans to get there early. Pre-meet festivities are going to start, I think, around 6 o'clock, but that first vault is at 6:30. So we need that place packed out by the time that we are ready to go. So hopefully people are sitting down by 6.
All right. Well, as we let you go, what's the focus going to be in the next couple days getting ready for Friday night? What's your message to your team during practice?
Our goal this week is to compete, to really go big and to play to win. And I don't just mean win the meet, but I mean to win the moment. Really want them to just embrace, meet the moment, meet the challenge, and go big in those times. And that's been our message this week.
We look forward to seeing it. Friday night, the Power of Pink, Alabama against Auburn. Coach Johnston, thank you for joining us to preview what's coming up. Best of luck against the Tigers. Roll Tide.
Thank you. Roll Tide.
That's Ashley Johnston, the head gymnastics coach here at the University of Alabama. Hey Coach is presented by Alfa Insurance. You can visit alfainsurance.com to find a local agent for auto, home, and life insurance. Call Alfa. When we come back, we'll be talking basketball with Nate Oats. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
At Red Diamond, we know that there's simply nothing better than the perfect sip of fresh brewed iced tea. And we've been working hard to make sure choosing Red Diamond is always easy, with only simple ingredients, water, tea leaves, and pure cane sugar, or no sugar. We make sure our tea tastes like, well, tea. Stop by your local cooler and pick up a gallon for a perfect sip today. Red Diamond. Perfect, not easy.
Here at Payless Drugs, we continue to be just what the doctor ordered. We know getting the medicine you need is especially important during these unique times. And for your safety and convenience, we offer a drive-through at every location. Plus, we have prescription delivery and contactless pickup at all locations. Now's the time to take care of your immunization needs. Stop by any of our convenient locations today.
Just what the doctor ordered.
Chris Jakimick, I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. Being a veteran, it's interwoven into your DNA, is really the absence of the connection and the purpose that can really drive a lot of veterans to some negative thoughts. For those who are in a suicidal crisis, the window of time to save somebody's life is very short. Our duty is to protect ourselves and protect our families, and one way you can do that is store your weapons safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
It's time for today's STEM tip. Okay, you know recycling is important. No one wants plastic in the ocean. Here's a cool way to repurpose a plastic bottle. Build an awesome terrarium. Cut a large plastic bottle in half and fill the base with sand, pebbles, potting soil, and your favorite plant. I chose an African violet. Put the top of the bottle over your base and place it in the sun. Your plant will grow sealed in its own ecosystem. Fun, right? Learn more at She Can STEM. A message from the Ad Council.
This is your captain. We are going to be experiencing some slight turbulence. Please fasten your... Oh, hold on. Just got a video of my cat.
Imagine the pilot of an airplane was as confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
On to the left side, the baseline jumper is no good. The rebound is fought for, and Clowney comes out with it again for the Crimson Tide. Bama looking to regain the lead. Quitterly to Grille, now to Miller. Steps back, 3, bottom. Got a whopping 2 points, 53-51.
That refreshing Bama highlight is presented by Yellowhammer Brewing Company, brewed locally in Alabama and served to fans across the Southeast. We're glad to welcome you back to Hey Coach here at Baumhower's Victory Grill in Tuscaloosa. This is Roger Hoover, now joined by the head coach of the Alabama Crimson Tide, Nate Oats. Roll Tide, Coach.
Roll Tide. Appreciate it, Roger.
We're glad to have you and the Crimson Tide, of course, back at home coming up this week, tomorrow night against the Vanderbilt Commodores. And on Saturday, we did see the 9-game winning streak come to a close. What were some of your takeaways from what happened in Norman?
Yeah, I didn't think we played hard enough. I mean, we didn't play well, obviously. So we've got to get back to the drawing board. We got to play a little harder. They shot it really well. Our defense took a step back. Our offense wasn't very good either. You know, we didn't make shots. Obviously doesn't help matters, but I thought the bigger problem was our effort. So, I think, they shot 9-13 from 3. We got to do a better job guarding the three-point line. I mean, they shot better from 3 than we did at the free throw line. So that's never a good sign. But, we also got out-rebounded, and they're not a great rebounding team. So I just thought our effort overall wasn't where it needed to be. Sometimes you got to recalibrate and get a little wake-up call. I think that's what we got. If you go back 2 years ago, we lost in the SEC Big 12 Challenge on the road at Oklahoma and kind of got us going again in SEC play after we kind of struggled a little bit. So hopefully this gets us going again. We had a good couple days of practice. I think guys know we got to play harder. There's still young adults, young men, and we're young and inexperienced, and sometimes you have some growing pains with some inexperience. So this is one of those.
So far this season, when Alabama has lost a game, have you liked the response they've shown, whether it was against UConn out in Portland and then beat North Carolina right after that, or then even after the Gonzaga loss, you had the 9-game winning streak right after? Yeah,
we've responded well every time. I think guys know, particularly the Gonzaga game, we just didn't play hard, play well. We came out and played a lot harder after that. So I think this is another one of those we just didn't play hard enough. It was a desperate team. They're 2-6 in their league with a bunch of close losses. I mean, you look, it was a 1 or 2 possession game against Texas, Kansas. They played everybody tough, but not every. They played a lot of teams in their league tough. They just couldn't come away with any of those wins. So, it was one of those. We knew they were better than the record, and they came out hungry because they needed some wins, and they weren't. They weren't in the tournament at the time, and they're kind of on the bubble, and they needed some quality wins, and there was a chance to get one against the number 2 team in the country, and they came out ready to play, and we didn't.
Tonight's first question for the phones brought to you by Alabama 811. Always contact 811 before you dig to know what's below. Call 811 or visit al811.com. Let's go back to the Yellowhammer Brewing Hotline and go to Grand Bay, Alabama, where once again on the show tonight, Pee Wee joins us now. Roll Tide, Pee Wee.
Roll Tide, Roger. Hey, Coach, how are you doing, sir?
Doing good. How are you doing, Pee Wee?
I'm doing good. Coach, a lot of times after you have a bad game, the guys that are the leaders on the team are the ones that need to step up to kind of right the ship. And you said they've had good practice the last days. Have you been satisfied with the effort that the leaders on this team has done since that game on Saturday?
Yeah, I think our practices have been good. I think you're right. We kind of had a team meeting. Video went a little longer than normal, and guys talked through some of what needed to be changed, and they came out and played hard. I think Quinterly's been with us the longest. He's had some really good practices these last 2 practices. But even our freshmen have stepped up. You don't have to be a senior, 5th-year senior to lead. Some of our better players are freshmen. I think they need to lead too and play harder, play better. But we've had 2 good practices Sunday night and then this morning. I think we'll be a harder playing team come tomorrow night.
What was most important on Sunday when you did go live? Because that's not something you always do after Saturday games.
Yeah, typically we've kind of done a walkthrough after a game, but we felt like we played at 1 o'clock Saturday. We got back at a decent enough time. We didn't practice till Sunday evening. The women had a home game, a big one against South Carolina. So we couldn't get in till later anyways. So it was over 24 hours since the game. We felt like we needed to go live. We didn't kill them, but we got some live work in, went at each other a little bit, and then came back this morning. Didn't go super long because we had gone Sunday Night Live, but we went enough and we got enough in, and the intensity was there, and I liked what I saw, and I think we'll be ready to go tomorrow.
We appreciate Pee Wee's call. Again, if you'd like to join us, 877-202-BAMA on the Yellowhammer Brewing Hotline. We'll continue with more with Coach Oats coming up in just a moment as you listen to Hey Coach. It's presented by Alfa Insurance. For auto, home, and life insurance, call Alfa. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
In America, the future belongs to everyone. So we designed the Ford trucks of the future for everyone. Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 45 years straight. Made for performance and capability on and off-road. Because the trucks of the future aren't designed for a few. They're built for America. Ford F-Series. Drive one today. Based on 1977 to 2021 calendar year total sales.
Tide fans, Golden Flake Snacks have been a proud partner with the Tide family for 65 years. The South's original potato chip, Golden Flake Snacks are delicious fan favorites because they're crafted from traditional Southern recipes. From crisp, perfectly flavored potato chips to light and airy pork rinds and fluffy, cheesy cheese puffs, Golden Flake Snacks are a winning combination with Alabama basketball. Share Golden Flake Snacks with your Tide family and friends. Simple, Southern goodness. That's Golden Flake.
Hi, we're RJ Young. We offer technology solutions that power your business, school, hospital, church, law firm, and more. RJ Young will empower your office to be the modern office. That means an office that integrates technology as a business advantage, all to help you work smarter. From managed IT services, office equipment, and technology, business process outsourcing, and digital communications, we're proud to be your one-stop for technology solutions that power your business. Come visit us at rjyoung.com.
All right, everyone, let's hit the road.
Mom, who's this?
Oh, that's Michelle. She's our Alpha agent. She helped me file that auto claim fast after that accident last week, so I figured we'd bring her with us.
Breakfast burrito?
All right, 200 miles before we stop. I hope you've all used the bathroom. Michelle, you good?
Before a little thing becomes a big thing, call your Alpha agent.
In SEC sports, the ifs come at you every minute. What if your QB had released the ball a second earlier? What if the head coach hadn't used his last timeout? What if your team goes all the way this season? If you love the tradition, if you live for the rivalry, if you can't wait each week for the absolute edge of your seat action, Regions is right there with you as the official bank of the SEC.
Regions can't help you with the ifs in sports. Regions helps you embrace the infinite life.
Member FDIC.
Yellowhammer Brewing is proud to sponsor the Alabama Crimson Tide. Yellowhammer Brewing has been crafting fine beers for the state of Alabama for 12 years running. Their beers include a variety of classic styles, including their latest release, Yellowhammer Gold, a light, easy-drinking American lager. These guys are local and doing great things for their community. You can find their beers at grocery stores, restaurants, and craft beer shops throughout the state. Check them out at yellowhammerbrewing.com. Make your next pint of Yellowhammer and roll Tide.
Bama, the lob, the dunk from Clowney, a beautiful feed from JQ, and Alabama with 6.5 to go is regained a 2-point edge.
Nate Oats is presented by CB&S Bank. Bank anywhere at any time with CB&S Bank's digital solutions. Managing your finances has never been so easy. We continue our conversation with Nate Oats. This is Roger Hoover with you at Baumhower's Victory Grille in Tuscaloosa. And tomorrow night, it's Alabama back at home at Coleman Coliseum, now facing the Vanderbilt Commodores for a second time this year. What stood out to you about the game on January 17th in Nashville?
I mean, they played hard. They don't quit. I think Coach Stackhouse does a really good job. They kind of take his personality. I mean, he was tough, hard-nosed, didn't back down from anybody. I mean, we've played them now. The last 3 times we played them, we've jumped on them, got a lead, and then can't, really hold them off. I mean, they just keep coming. I think we were up 23 at their place, and it ended up being a really tight game late. We were up big in the SEC tournament, came back and lost by double digits, so... And then the time before that, we were up big, and they came back. It was like a one-possession game late. So they're a team that's a little injured right now, banged up. You know, they're missing Liam Robbins, I think, still out. I'm not sure about Dort, whether he'll play or not. But so they've gone a little smaller. They've got good shooting. They're a skilled team. He does a really good job on the offensive side of the ball. They run really good sets. And they're playing everybody in the league tough. I mean, Texas A&M is only a game behind us, tied with Tennessee in second place. I mean, so Texas A&M's a really good team, and Vanderbilt had them right to the wire at Texas A&M in the last game out. So this is not a game you can overlook or we'll be in trouble because they're a good team.
You mentioned Mississippi State had made improvements from the first time we saw them to last week. Is it similar with Vanderbilt? Have they made improvements since January 17th?
Yeah, I mean, they have. You look at them against Texas A&M, and Texas A&M, it's a lot different game, the way that they guard and switch defenses and everything. So, but they're good. I mean, they're figuring out the rotation a little better. They've got some shooting that they're adding in. They got some guys picking up the scoring a little bit now that Robbins is out, and they're kind of figuring out how to play without Robbins. We got them. I think we might have had them the first. We had them the first game without Robbins, so they've kind of figured out little bit better rotation without Robbins. They're accustomed to playing without him because he was one of their big scorers for them before we played him.
Last game against Oklahoma, the top scorer was Rylan Griffin with 15 points. What did you like about his game? How is he progressing as a freshman?
You know what? He's getting more and more comfortable. He's not scared of the moment ever. He's making big shots. He's shooting it well. He had the tip dunk. He's getting back to the offensive glass. You know, he plays hard. He does what we ask him to do. He's a really good kid. And I kept saying, like, he's got a big future here, but, you know, we're going to need him this year. We need him in that game. You know, obviously not too many other guys played well that game, and our defense wasn't there at all. But, you know, if you take one bright spot out of that game, it was definitely Rylan. So, and he's from Dallas. That's only like, you know, what, a 3-hour trip or something from Dallas. His parents come to a lot of games here, though, too. But it was good to see his parents at the game and him play well in that game.
And once again, it continues to seem like Javon Quinterly has really hit his groove lately.
Yeah, Javon's getting back in the groove. He played hard in practice today. He's getting his pop back, his explosiveness. You know, he's getting more comfortable shooting the ball. You know, he's got to stay out of foul trouble. And we got to keep him out of some of those unnecessary fouls. But, yeah, he's definitely starting to play well. We need that. We need some pop from that point guard spot. Guy that can score, put a little pressure on the defense, get the ball in the paint, get our shooters open shots. He's becoming that for us.
Of course, everyone knows how well he can finish around the rim, some of the great moves he can make in the air. What's been the most impressive play you've seen him make? Has it been in the game or some stuff in practice really taking your breath away?
Yeah, I mean, he's got some pretty big-time game highlights. He really gets going in the game. But, yeah, there's some days in practice where he's got that ball on a string. You know, he can do a lot of stuff with the ball that not too many other people in the country can do. So, and to be honest with you, some of his better plays are some of his passing. You know, as a coach sitting on the sideline, it's easy to sit there and tell the guys, oh, such and such was open. He said, yeah, no kidding. I'm looking at it from out here, like, with nobody on me, you know. So making those reads is a lot harder, you know, with a guy on you trying to figure it all out. Well, sometimes he makes passes you don't even see from the side that you don't think is there. So, I mean, I think some of his passing, some of his best moments, but he's got the whole jelly finishes with the spins on the finishes, a little Kyrie Irving. Some of those spins on his finishes are pretty impressive, too.
Just like your game in college, right?
Yeah, you know what? They hadn't quite gotten all the spins. If I'd have played in a different era, maybe I would have had that all down. I don't remember too many guys spinning the ball with the jelly like he had going on. The finger roll, maybe some George Gervin Iceman finger rolls.
We need to find the VHS tapes of that and make sure we get that on your television show.
It'd definitely be a VHS tape. That's what my games are on.
No doubt. Well, tomorrow it's going to be in HD for everyone watching on television, of course on the radio, but in person at Coleman Coliseum. We look forward to a great crowd on hand. We have Crimson Chaos in the building. You want this atmosphere to be rowdy as can be to welcome in Vanderbilt tomorrow.
Yeah, we need them. We haven't lost one at home yet, so we need the Crimson Chaos there supporting us. I'll be honest with you, we didn't play great against Mississippi State either last time out. If we didn't have the energy from the crowd, I don't know if we get that win. So hopefully our guys bring their own energy tomorrow, but we certainly could use all the energy from the crowd we can get. It's just great for the guys that come in, see how well they're being supported, continue to play hard, put a product out there people want to come see. I saw the lines before the game. I thought it was great. You know, I think the whole place was filled up. If you got there an hour before the game, I don't think you got in the student section. I did see them after practice. They had everything set up. I think they got free towel giveaways. There's towels on all the seats. So come early enough to get in the building, get your towel, make sure we support us. So appreciate Crimson Chaos coming out here tonight, too. Roll Tide.
We look forward to it. Coach, thank you for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow night at Coleman. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. Appreciate you, Roger.
That's the head coach of the Alabama Crimson Tide, Nate Oats. His comments as we get set for Vanderbilt and LSU coming up this week in men's basketball. Special thanks to Onward Reserve, the official apparel provider of the Crimson Tide Sports Network, for all of the great gear this season. Visit onwardreserve.com for all of your golf and game day apparel. Live authentically with Onward Reserve. Hey Coach is presented by Alfa Insurance. For auto, home, and life insurance, call Alfa. Back to wrap things up in just a moment. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
Here's a fun fact for you. The average chameleon can point their eyes in 2 different directions. On the other hand, the average human can't. So unless you're a chameleon, There's absolutely no way you can focus on texting and driving at the same time. So don't do it. Unless you're a chameleon.
Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Guys, it's me, Isabella Gomez, filling in for Smokey Bear because he's got more to say than just...
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Like, if you're outside enjoying a barbecue, don't let a hamburger distract you from fire safety. Make sure you aren't dumping your hot coals or ashes onto the ground because that could start a wildfire. So take wildfire prevention seriously and let's save the world one day at a time. Juntos con Smokey Bear, podemos hacerlo. Go to smokeybear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
GOAT, G-O-A-T, acronym, stands for Greatest of All Time. As in, spaghetti sandwiches for dinner? They're my fave. Dad, you're the GOAT.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care would love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Ready for our little forest adventure?
Yes! So much waiting for me. Yeah, I wanna go outside. I wanna be.
We're here.
Whoa, that was fast.
There's a forest closer than you think. Find a park or forest near you and music inspired by nature. DiscoverTheForest.org. Brought to you by USDA Forest Service and the Ad Council.
And we're back with breaking news. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any Coke fan, so make sure you... Jim. Jim.
We're on the air. Ooh, yes, this tastes like the best Coke ever to me. Your thoughts, Jen?
Well, can I have a sip?
Jen, we're in the middle of reporting the news.
I need to try it first.
Trustmark is the bank that fits you to a
T.
You can bank right on your phone or
tablet
with the My Trustmark app. Our mortgage lenders will help you buy your dream
two-story tutor.
And Trustmark Tailored Wealth offers
tried and true
advice that makes
transforming
your future a piece of
toast.
Nice. Trustmark. People you trust. Advice that works. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
At My Eye Doctor, we would never think of getting between you and your screen, except with blue light lenses. Eye strain can happen by spending hours and hours with devices, texting, gaming, binging. Our lens solutions can help minimize the stress and strain of harmful blue light. We welcome all insurances. Eye care and eyewear are better together at My Eye Doctor, Doctors of Optometry. Schedule an appointment today at myeydr.com.
What widens the eyes, tightens the stomach, and flutters the heart. Adrenaline. Feel it for yourself in the Toyota RAV4, Camry, Corolla, and Tacoma. Lease a new 2023 Toyota RAV4 LE for $309 a month for 36 months. Toyota, let's go places. Offer valid through January 31st, 2023. Well qualified lessees with approved credit through Southeast Toyota Finance. 3608 do it sign. No security deposit with select equipment. $350 disposition fee. Excludes tax, tag, registration, title, and vehicle fee. See dealer for details.
What's on tap next for Bama is presented by Bud Light. Bud Light, a proud sponsor of Alabama Athletics. Roll Tide with Bud Light. Well, coming up tomorrow, men's basketball against Vanderbilt, 7:30 tip-off, 6:30 airtime here on the network. And don't forget, Saturday, the men's team at LSU at 3, airtime at 2, the women's basketball team at Missouri on Sunday. If you missed any portion of tonight's show, you can always catch it on demand on our Alabama Insider podcast. Download, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. That does it for tonight's Hey Coach show, presented by Alfa Insurance. Good night from Baumhower's Victory Grille. For Tom Stipe, Ethan Carabin at Baumhower's, Jerry Kelly, Riley Schneiders in our Learfield studios. This is Roger Hoover saying good night and roll tide.